What is up, everybody? It's your girl Nia, TheVideoGamHer, and I'm coming to you guys with another vlog. Like, oh my god, it's been a while since I actually got in front of a camera and talked to y'all. Like, it's crazy, right? I'm here in front of a camera because y'all know for the last couple of weeks, probably even the last couple of months, I've been going hard body on streaming, and I've just been taking this time and this opportunity to just enjoy my games, streaming for y'all, interacting with you guys as we have our conversations, and that's kind of been my mode of making content. Today, I'm actually not going to be talking about gaming related things. I'm going to be talking about some comic book related things. I remember saying some time ago on my channel that I wanted to get more into doing more things related to comic books, comic book related movies, comic book related TV shows, comic book related cartoons and animated movies and things like that. So today is pretty much going to be all about that. If you guys want to know my opinions on the newly announced PS4 Pro, which was formerly codenamed PS4 Neo, go and check out my live stream from yesterday with my boyfriend and I playing Live Lock on Steam. And there was a very candid conversation about my thoughts on the PlayStation Pro as well as the Xbox One Scorpio and what I think it means in the industry at large. And I'm pretty jaded. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. So that tangent is full of a jaded Nia. If you're not about that life and you want to hear somebody talking positively about this stuff, you might not want to go watch that video. I'm just keeping it real with you, man. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get into these topics. So first of all, before I start, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my comic book journey as of late. I really became interested in reading the actual comics for myself around the time of Batman vs. Superman and Captain America Civil War. So I pretty much started reading comics around April. And just to give you guys a little bit of backstory, even though I just started reading the comics themselves, I've always been very interested in superheroes ever since I was little. Like, I was raised on stuff like the X-Men cartoons, Spider-Man cartoons, Batman, the animated series, Superman, the animated series, Justice League Unlimited, and Young Justice, of course. So, you know, I have some reference material to a degree to some of these comic book characters that we've been seeing on the big screen as of like the last century or so. Well, even longer than that, you know. Comic book movies is something that's been done for a while, but they really started kind of taking off and becoming a little bit more serious ever since, you know, Iron Man 1 and then like the Dark Knight trilogy and all that stuff like that. So I finally decided to go ahead and like look further into these characters. I've always been interested in wanting to read comic books, but I never took the time out to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm already a gamer. A part of me was reluctant because I didn't really want to add that added expense, because being a nerd and being into geeky stuff is really expensive. But I finally decided to take the leap, and I'll be honest with y'all, I'm pretty much a DC head. Like, I'm really biased when it comes down to DC because that's what I grew up on the most. Like, I have the most reference to DC and their whole comic book universe. That's not to say that I'm like not a fan of Marvel. I like Marvel as well, but I'm a little bit more knowledgeable on DC, and that's pretty much where I am even now. You know, I just know more about DC, therefore I'm a little bit more interested in DC content. So, you know, I've been reading the Rebirth books, and before the Rebirth books came out, I had been reading New 52 stuff, and I think I kind of came into it at a really good time because DC Rebirth has been lit. Like, DC Rebirth is so lit that I've pretty much been reading and keeping up with every single DC Rebirth book that's been out to date. Probably except for Detective Comics and Action Comics. I'm not really interested in those books, but let me give you a rundown of what I'm reading right now. I usually get my books digitally, so I keep them on my tablet. So I have been reading Aquaman, Batgirl and the Birds of Prey, Batgirl Rebirth, Batman Rebirth, and of course, you know, the DC Universe Rebirth standalone came out. That joint is fire. Like, I knew the Rebirth books were gonna be fire when that joint came out. Yo, hot fire. Let's see, Green Arrow, Green Lanterns Rebirth, starring Simon Bass and Jessica Cruz, which I love. I love these new lanterns, y'all. These new lanterns, like, they're a little wet behind the ears, of course, because they're new. But yo, I think that when they develop, they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with. Like, I'm counting on that. And of course, I've been reading Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern's Corps. And this book is about, you know, Hal Jordan, of course, my dog, John Stewart, Guy Gardner, and of course the other Green Lanterns, like from other planets, like Kilowog and all of the other ones. Some of them that were my favorites are deceased, at least to my knowledge, unless they decide they want to bring the mugs back. Cause you know, in comic books, you ain't never really dead, bruh. Like, people come back all the time. I've been reading the Justice League Rebirth books. New Superman, the Chinese Superman, he is dope. I like him. I've been reading Nightwing, love Nightwing, Red Hood and the Outlaws, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not a really big Batman or Bat Family fan. I've always thought that Batman was one of the most overrated heroes ever. That's just my opinion. And I think that sometimes DC puts a little bit too many of their eggs in a Batman basket. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, I don't dispute that he's an interesting character. I mean, I acknowledge that a lot of people like him. But as for me, I've always felt like Batman was kind of a try-hard. He's a little too edgy for me. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But I do like some people in the Bat family. Like, I like Nightwing. And I do like Batgirl to a degree. And I'm starting to get to know Red Hood. And he's interesting. He's interesting to me. So I'm gonna keep reading Red Hood and the Outlaws and see what's about to happen next. I'm not gonna go too deep into his book because there's some joints in there that I'm really looking forward to see unveil. I've been reading the Suicide Squad Rebirth book. Superman, of course. The Flash, really, really good one. The Hellblazer Rebirth, which is basically a book about John Constantine. Titans Rebirth, which is, let's see, the redheaded Wally West, and Arsenal, I believe. And who else is in the Titans? Aqualad, not the black Aqualad, but the other Aqualad, Garth, I think his name, and some other characters I can't remember off the top of my head right now. And I've been reading Wonder Woman Rebirth. Oh my god, yes! I'm really starting to love Wonder Woman as a character. Like, oh my god. Anyway, Blue Beetle. I love Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle. Ted Kord is kind of annoying to me, but I love Jaime Reyes' version of Blue Beetle. A lot of that probably has a lot to do with Young Justice. I'm not gonna lie, probably biased because of Young Justice. I loved him in that too, but I really like his book. And then I've been reading Deathstroke Rebirth. Supergirl Rebirth came out, but I haven't had a chance to read her books yet. I haven't gotten around to them. And Superwoman Rebirth, which features Lois Lane and some other lady whose name I can't remember, who are the super women in this book. And so far, I have to say, there are some books that I'm not really interested in keeping up with. Like, I don't care about Superwoman. I don't know why, I just never really connected with Lois Lane as a character, so I don't really care to see her as a hero either. I think I'm kind of not so interested in Superman because that whole story arc right now is just kind of, it's losing me. I don't really know. I don't want to spoil it. I want to do an in-depth talk about Superman. Not even just Superman, but all of the comic books in general one day. But I'm reading so many of them, I don't want to talk about them in this one segment of the video. But Superman is losing me because I don't know what the hell is going on with Superman right now. Like, there's some stuff going on that's beyond my comprehension. And a lot of it is probably because I didn't get a chance to read the new 52 version of Superman. So I'm just all kinds of confused, but they done lost. They losing me, man. And of course, you guys, well, I don't know if y'all know, but those of you guys who are friends with me on Facebook, like, y'all know that Green Lantern is my favorite superhero of all time, Hal Jordan. And of course, you know, I love that whole universe. Hal Jordan is my dude, first of all. That's my dude. I love Hal Jordan as a character. My second favorite Green Lantern, of course, is John Stewart. Love John Stewart as well. Like, I just love how noble and just honorable he is. Like, he's a real noble guy. Like, if he tells you he's gonna do a thing, like, he's gonna try his best to make sure that he got your back. Because, you know, I guess he got that military mindset, so he looks out for his people. I love that. And Hal Jordan, he's just kind of more like headstrong, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's gonna go in something regardless, because that's Hal Jordan. That's what he does. But these new Lanterns, Simon Bass and Jessica Cruz, man, I love them. And let's just take a minute to talk about how Jessica Cruz is the first female Earth Lantern. Yo, I gotta give some respect to her. I love her so far. I think that she's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. Like, I think she might even be a little bit more dope than Simon, because Simon is a little headstrong too. I like him, but Jessica, she's real like timid, and she has like real bad anxiety. She doesn't understand why she has the Green Lantern ring, which all of you, well, y'all probably don't know, but if you do, y'all know that the Green Lantern ring, it comes to people that has a very strong sense of willpower. So it's really interesting that Jessica Cruz has this ring, because she's this really timid, like anxious chick. So she's like, yo, how did I even get this ring? But like, she's having a hard time making constructs. Y'all know how they make, you know, objects with the hard light that comes from the ring. She's having a hard time making her constructs, and she's questioning like, why am I a Green Lantern? But I think that, you know, as the story goes along and we learn more about Jessica, and Jessica starts learning more about herself, she's going to be a beast. I believe it. She's going to be a beast. Simon is already kind of low-key a beast. He's just a little wet behind the ears, a little too much of a novice, but I think that he's going to grow into his own too. And the interesting thing about Simon and Jessica is that they're kind of like a team. They're kind of, how can I put this? They're kind of attached at the hip, because there was a situation where Sinestro, if y'all don't know Sinestro, he's an anti-hero in the Green Lantern universe. He was originally a Green Lantern, but he started getting too big for his britches and wanted to move away from the Guardians, who are the people who made the rings in the Green Lantern universe. And he went on to make the Yellow Lantern Corps, or the Sinestro Corps, and he came back as a Green Lantern somehow. I don't remember exactly how. And he made a ring himself. Like, he had a ring that he made out of his own willpower, that wasn't made by the Guardians, and he gave it to Hal Jordan, because somehow Hal Jordan had lost his ring, and he kind of used that ring to barter with Hal, because when Hal lost his ring, he came back to civilian life, and he didn't know what to do because he wasn't a Lantern anymore. So Sinestro bartered with the ring so to get Hal to do some stuff for him, and Sinestro eventually went back to the yellow ring. And so here we have, you know, Hal Jordan. He's got this fake ring, and somehow it split up again, and it went to two people instead of one, like it normally would for one person. And those two people were Simon Bass and Jessica Cruz. I probably confused the hell out of y'all because I wasn't meaning to go that deep, but just know that I like them, and there's a reason why the rings chose them. And which is even more dope is that they've actually been doing missions with the Justice League, because right now Hal Jordan and the other Green Lanterns are going through it. Like, there's a lot of stuff that happened in the New 52 universe of Green Lantern. So the Green Lantern Corps as a collective are trying to come back and pull themselves together, because there's a lot of junk that has happened and is going on, and they're trying to find their way back to each other and kind of build themselves back up as a Corps again. Because y'all know Green Lantern Corps is an organization. Green Lantern is not a superhero that exists by himself. He's a part of an organization, the Green Lantern Corps. So, love Green Lantern. As y'all can see, I love Green Lantern. And let's see, what else have I been reading hard body that I like? Aquaman. A lot of people undercut Aquaman, but I really like Aquaman. And in this version of Aquaman, he's not like a grizzled Aquaman that we've seen in some iterations. He's gone back to the noble king, very regal Aquaman who just wants to bring the surface world and the world of Atlantis back together, and that's all he wants, man. So I like this version of Aquaman as well. And Batgirl is actually one who really surprised me, because I know it sounds really stupid to say this as a woman, but a lot of female superheroes just don't connect with me. I don't know what it is, but I've always felt more connected to male superheroes like Green Lantern. I don't know why, don't ask. She is so the opposite of Batman. Like, she's got this carefree spirit, but she also can kick ass, and I love her. And I love Batgirl and the Birds of Prey, which is right now, I'm sure they're gonna get more girls like they were in previous versions of Birds of Prey. But right now it's Batgirl, Huntress, and my girl Black Canary. Well, I guess that's a female character that I like. Black Canary, that's my girl. So we gonna see what's gonna happen next, because they got some stuff going on too. Huntress is giving them the blues. So that's pretty much what I've been reading. Now, as far as what I actually want to talk about today, and this is actually a long video, so I don't want to make it too short, so I'm gonna try to run through this other stuff. So we had some stuff today that came out. There's going to be a Black Lightning TV series coming to Fox, and a part of me is excited, because I'm always excited to see more black people on TV. Like, I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. As an African American person, I feel good seeing people who look like me on TV doing some fantastic stuff. Like, superheroes like Black Lightning were created in a time where it was kind of, I don't want to say it was a big boom, but it was like during a blaxploitation phase of media, and they started kind of brainstorming and bringing to life a lot of these black characters, and Black Lightning is one of those characters on the DC side. So for them to actually be making a TV show dedicated to Black Lightning, like, I think that's gonna be dope. The downside is, however, that this TV show is coming to Fox. Fox is known for calling quits on their TV shows after the first season, especially if it's a sci-fi show or like some kind of show with a fantastical kind of like setting. I don't trust Fox. They should have tried to go to another network that would probably guarantee the TV show a little bit more longevity. And the sad part about this is not even a new development. Apparently there was already rumors and talks that there was going to be a Black Lightning TV show, and I literally just found out today, because news had it that Black Lightning was coming to Fox. So it's like, they need to get some excitement around this show, because that would give it more of a chance of having a season 1. I mean, not a season, hell, maybe even a season 1 if they decide not to cut it off too soon. But it'll increase the chances of it having a season 2. I would really hate to see, you know, a TV show with a black character get undercut like that. And Fox, they don't play no games. They will cut your joint off. So we gonna see. Also, another thing that I wanted to talk about is how they finally have confirmed that Joe Manganiello, I'm sorry, I cannot say this man's name, is going to be Deathstroke in the standalone Batman movie. And Deathstroke is hype. I love that character, especially in Arrow when Manu Bennett played Deathstroke. Man. Home dude was ruthless. He was a beast. He was straight up crazy, and I loved every minute of seeing him on TV. And I'm gonna go into the Batman standalone movie with a fresh mind. I don't want to compare Joe Manganiello to Manu Bennett, because, you know, they're different actors. They will bring their own flavor to Deathstroke's character, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he does, man. Like, I don't really care about Batman like that, but I love me some Deathstroke. That sounds really, really bad. Oh my god. Okay, so next, there are some videos of some fight segments with my girl Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I didn't make a video about my impressions or my reactions to the Wonder Woman trailer that it released during the summertime. I guess I really wasn't thinking about it. Whatever. But the more that I see this woman, the more I'm like, yo, this is Wonder Woman. This woman is Wonder Woman. And I was very skeptical about Gal Gadot playing Wonder Woman because, you know, she's a little bit on the thin side. I'll be honest, I was one of those people. I had never really heard of her before. I didn't watch the Fast and Furious movie that she was in, so I didn't really know what type of a character or type of actress that she was. But I did see her in Batman vs. Superman. I loved her in that. And that trailer made me love her even more. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Wonder Woman because of the Wonder Woman cameo and BVS in the trailer. I really wanted to look back into Wonder Woman's backstory, so I've been reading more Wonder Woman comics, like the Rebirth books, like Wonder Woman Earth 1, and of course I've been going to watch some animated Wonder Woman movies as well to kind of get more up to date with her character, because she was also one of the female characters that I really did not pay attention to until this year. And I regret to say that, man, because Wonder Woman is a dope character. So my bad. That's my bad. And so the last thing that I want to talk about, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the video right here or I'm gonna talk literally forever, is that apparently Olicity, or Oliver and Felicity's relationship in Arrow, is not coming back in the near future. I gotta give some claps. I gotta give some claps because, Arrow season 1 and season 2 was so lit. Like, Arrow at one point in time was my favorite superhero on TV. Stephen Amell as Green Arrow was my dude. And then they started taking the whole Felicity and Oliver relationship to new heights, and the way that they did it was so annoying. Now let's not get it twisted here. I don't really like romance in my TV and my movies, really. My action movies, my action TV shows, that's just how I am. But I don't mind romance if it's done well, if it's not over the top, if it doesn't take away from the overarching premise of whatever media I'm watching. And then the fact that I'm already kind of well versed on some of the DC universe, you know, before this TV show, it kind of bugged me. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, because everybody knows Oliver Queen is with Dinah Lance, aka Dinah Laurel Lance, Black Canary. They are supposed to be together. They are meant for each other. Why are you pushing this Felicity and Oliver on us? Anybody who is a fan of the Green Arrow, at least to a small degree, knows he always had a thing for Black Canary. So that already kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And then with Felicity and Oliver's relationship, like, Felicity went from a really cool character to a really annoying, preachy, and unbearable character. Like, I loved Felicity and they made me hate her. And then they went so hard body on their relationship, they forgot that freaking Oliver Queen was the freaking Green Arrow. Like, you the Green Arrow, dude. This is not a soap opera. This is the Green Arrow. You need to be shooting niggas in the face with, like, explosive arrows. Like, I don't understand why. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my tangent because it boils my blood how they took one of the TV shows that jump-started all of this TV superhero stuff. Regardless of what y'all feel about DC, y'all can't deny Arrow was the catalyst of all of this TV superhero stuff, and they ruined it. Like, I'm following Stephen Amell on social media, and he used to be like so proud that he was portraying Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow, on TV. And these days it's just kind of like he's kind of mousy. He's kind of sitting behind. He doesn't really hype up his role as the Green Arrow like he used to. It's almost like he knows too deep down in his heart that the show has been ruined, but he can't say nothing because he getting the check. I'm hoping that season 5 gets better, because if it doesn't get better, I can't promise that in good faith I can watch the show anymore. Season 3 was the absolute worst. Season 4 was kind of okay, but still iffy. You know what I'm saying? If season 5 is trash, like, my heart can't literally take any more. So we're gonna see how it goes with season 5 in October. But I'm definitely looking forward to The Flash. The Flash is easily one of the best superhero shows on TV right now. Legends of Tomorrow is kind of hit and miss, but for the most part, I find it enjoying. I do like it, and I do like the fact that they're going to be bringing in some Justice Society of America characters. Like, Stargirl is going to be in it. My girl Vixen is going to be in it. Like, Hourman. Dude, I'm ready. Supergirl, I just hope she has a good season 2. Now, I watched all of season 1. I kind of did a Supergirl marathon to get myself ready for season 2. And she's not that bad. I mean, she's hit or miss, but I did overall find it enjoyable. At first, I thought the fact that she and Jimmy Olsen dating was kind of weird, but it grew on me. I could see it happening. I think it's just the writing. I just really wasn't convinced when she was over at CBS. So hopefully when she comes over to the CW and they sprinkle some of the Flash magic on it, then we'll see how it goes. October is going to be great for DC TV. As far as DC movies, we're gonna see what happens next. Speaking of DC movies, I forgot to talk about Geoff Johns. Geoff Johns came out and said some stuff about the DCEU. So I'm gonna be reading this article straight from CBR.com, and this is what it says. As we've known for months, DC Entertainment and Warner Brothers recruited fan favorite writer producer Geoff Johns and veteran producer John Berg to course correct the DC cinematic universe following the less than stellar reception of this year's Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and Suicide Squad. The Wall Street Journal recently caught up with the pair to discuss how they're shaking things up. Despite a combined $1.5 million worldwide box office, the two most recent DC movies failed to meet financial expectations, and both were trashed by critics and fans for their grimness. The reaction to Zack Snyder's Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice was so negative that the studio went back to and reshot parts of Suicide Squad to lighten the tone, despite the fact that the latter movie film was about a group of supervillains. Thus, John Berg and Johns were brought in to fix the shared film universe. In May, the duo reportedly became in charge of DC Films, while Johns was promoted to president and chief creative officer of DC Entertainment. According to the Wall Street Journal, Berg and Johns are the first executives devoted exclusively to the studio's superhero films. The report notes that Berg had previously worked on the DC films in addition to working on other WB productions, while Johns was a consultant with no authority, at least when it came to the movies. As many fans have speculated, the piece confirms that Warner executives believe they had created more grounded, character-based stories that, like in The Dark Knight, would stand out from chief rival Marvel Studios' consistently successful by fluffier fare. But they were taken aback by the overwhelmingly negative responses to Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, even though they expected them to be controversial. Speaking from the set of Scott Snyder's Justice League, Berg told Wall Street Journal that the film is intended to be less depressing than Batman v Superman, and that he and Johns worked with Snyder and screenwriter Chris Terrio to accelerate the story and get to the hope and optimism a little faster. The film also addresses Batman's extreme violence in Batman v Superman, rather than just letting it slide. Johns, who rewrote the Wonder Woman script with director Patty Jenkins, is taking a break from writing for television to pen the upcoming solo Batman movie to be directed by Ben Affleck and starring True Blood's Joe Manganiello as the villainous Deathstroke. He is also working with Berg to develop movies based on the rest of the Justice League, including Aquaman, Cyborg, and The Flash. Johns also wrote the hugely successful DC Universe Rebirth special that relaunched the DC Comics line, giving the DC Universe a more hopeful tone and bringing back characters and elements of the publisher's continuity that were abandoned in the wake of the New 52 reboot. Johns told Wall Street Journal that he and Berg are trying to take a really hard look at everything to make sure we stay true to the characters and tell stories that celebrate them. The Wall Street Journal piece also suggests that the studio is looking to tighten the reins and exert more control over its cinematic properties after giving Mr. Snyder the type of long leash accorded Christopher Nolan on the Dark Knight Batman trilogy. I'm sorry, y'all, that's hilarious. Given the stellar sales of his Rebirth special and renewed fan interest in the publisher's print and digital titles, DC Entertainment may have found in Johns and Berg exactly the team to lead the next phase of his cinematic endeavors. The next TV comics-based film, Wonder Woman, hits theaters on June 2nd, 2017, while the Zack Snyder-directed Justice League is slated for November 17, 2017 release. So basically, Geoff Johns and John Berg are saying that they're going to do away with the dark tone of the DCEU that was shown in Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, and they're going to go back to the roots of these characters. Now, here's my opinion on the DCEU, and this is strictly my opinion. I think that the DCEU suffers from something much more crippling than tone. I think that, yeah, the dark tone doesn't need to be applicable to people like Superman, who's not really a dark character. There's other things that I feel like are the really big problems in the DCEU, and that would be things like the writing. The writing could be much better, the editing could be much better, the pacing could be much better. I think that there's so many different factors that are much more glaring that need to be fixed, that are a little bit more noticeable to me than the tone. Now, of course, you know, that doesn't mean that we need to keep making super dark movies for people who are more lighthearted, like Superman, like The Flash, but you could have a movie with a darker tone, but it's written well and can still be enjoyable. And from the looks of it, I think that Wonder Woman and the Justice League movie that are going to be launching next are going to be the perfect marriage of a little bit of a darker tone, but also kind of bringing some light where it counts. Like with Wonder Woman has always been, you know, a person of compassion. You know, she wants to help people, and she's a diplomat, you know what I'm saying? That's her character. And I feel that even though the tone of the Wonder Woman movie isn't super extra peachy and, you know, lighthearted, you know, it still showcases that side of Wonder Woman, at least from the trailers. That's kind of how I feel about that. I hope that they get it together. I think that we will actually start seeing some changes with the DCEU, probably beginning with Wonder Woman, because Geoff Johns had a direct hand in that movie, and nobody knows DC characters more than Geoff Johns, and of course other people like him, like Bruce Timm and the other people, basically anybody who's doing the animation, the animated movies, and anybody who's doing the comics. Obviously they know these characters, so it's gonna be really interesting to see what's gonna happen next year, because even though I personally enjoyed Man of Steel, I found some enjoyment in BVS, and I found some enjoyment in Suicide Squad, I can also be objective and see there were definitely some glaring flaws that they need to work on, and hopefully they work on them fast, because they don't want to create a situation where they're stumbling out of the gate and then they're losing interest and nobody wants to watch the later movies, even if the latter movies are good. Because let's say Wonder Woman is good, but people are so burnt out on DC not delivering, you know, quality movies, that nobody supports Wonder Woman. You know, that's not gonna be good. That's not gonna be good for her character. That's not gonna be good for any other people involved. So hopefully Johns knows what he's doing in the movie space, because we know what he's doing in comics. We know he's great in comics, but hopefully he can bring that magic to the big screen. So we gonna see. This is a long video, so this is gonna be hell to edit. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to give this a like. Let me know your opinions below. Are you into this comic book thing? Do y'all like videos like this? Let me know, man, and we'll talk about it later. Peace.